Hey guys, so Eric here. Oops, I decided to jump on here. I'm in the middle of switching my room around to give me a little piece, and now we're helping somebody out by letting him stay in the other bedroom so that he can have sleep when he's working the long shifts and balancing out the noise of the TVs in their room and my room so that we can do this. So the reason I'm jumping on here is because while I got all my electronics back in and also watching YouTube and everything, I saw Keith Edwards, who is a political content creator, left leaning, progressive, reported, as well as Aaron Parnas reported, and a couple of others reporting that the Democrats under Chuck Schumer are close to a deal to reopen the government. It was first reported regarding Republicans have a new deal to vote and open the government. The Republicans' deal is to keep everything as is, but instead of funding the government through November 21st, because today is November the 9th, and that would only give us funding for 11 days, 12 days, they are proposing funding the government through January 30th. Yes, January 30th, with no concessions to the Democrats save one: the promise, not an actual vote, but the promise of a vote to extend the ACA, the Affordable Care Act um, insurance policies, um, the subsidies for, I believe, a year, for a year. Sorry, I was thinking, but it's not an actual vote. It is the promise of a vote, and I'm going to call them out. They always say this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, and they lie. John Thune is a liar. Mike Johnson is a liar. Donald Trump is a liar. And now I'm going back to Chuck Schumer, who is, and I agree with Keith Edwards on this, that he is the minority leader of the Senate, Democrats, and for the most part, he is the defunct leader of the Democratic Party. He is going to cave, and there are about 10 Democrats in the Senate that may vote to open the government with no concessions at all. None. None. Except the promise of a vote. And that vote would still require 60 votes. 60 votes. And will any of the Senate Republicans jump ship and vote with the Democrats on the ACA? No. 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 It would require 8 of them to do it. It would require 8 of them to do it. And there aren't 8 Republican senators who are going to risk their careers or the ire of Donald Trump to extend these subsidies. Why are the subsidies important? Because right now, this is the enrollment period for the marketplace, for the Affordable Care Act policies, insurance that would be effective January 1st, 2026 for the next year. Those premiums are going up at least 26%. One of the political content creators that I follow, Politics Girl, she lives in California with her family, and she showed her new premium for 2026 when she received it on her channel. Again, Politics Girl. That's Politics Plural Girl. I used to call her Ponytail Girl because every time she makes a video, her hair is always in a ponytail. I have never seen her hair down. So that's why I call her Ponytail Girl. So, but I'm going to bring up the reporting from Axios. Both the left and the right have reported to Axios about this deal. And I will bring this up right now. Hang on one second. So here's Axios' website, and like always, I'm going to link on this article into the description of the video. And so this reporting was done by Stephen Newcomb and Steph W. Knight. This was today, about 55 minutes ago. So a handful of Senate Democrats on Sunday indicated they are ready to advance a package of bills that could end the government shutdown, multiple sources told Axios. And here's why it matters. It is the most significant movement toward a bipartisan breakthrough in talks to reopen the government in over a month. At least 10 Senate Democrats are poised to support a procedural motion to advance a package of spending bills and a short-term funding measure through the end of January, multiple sources from both parties told Axios. The deal includes a December vote on a Democratic proposal to extend the ACA tax credits for 1 year, multiple sources said. It would take 60 votes to pass. So if I'm on the Republican side, yeah, I'm going to agree to this because I know they ain't got 60 votes. It's going to fail. And that is the only thing that is in this bill package, that the Democrats want. It also includes language aimed at providing assistance to federal employees who were laid off during the shutdown, as well as a provision to fund SNAP benefits through September 30th of next year, which is the last day of the fiscal year. Now, here's some reasons why no deal is final. While no deal is final until lawmakers have voted, the agreement could end weeks of deadlock in the Senate. And this is reporting that the White House is on board with this deal. Again, why would they not do this? Because the Democrats will not get 60 votes on the ACA subsidies. They're not. Which means by definition, Chuck Schumer, again, like before, he's the first one to blink. And Keith Edwards made a point. I believe that Chuck Schumer actually cares about the people of this country. I do. But just like I tell one of my best friends with his job and some of the things that he has to go through, sometimes you have to care a little less in order to push through. And what that means is you're not changing who you are. You're not. But you can only care so much before something either gives to the other side or something gives to your side. And so I need Chuck Schumer to care a little less and to hold the line. Because again, Politics Girl's premium, her monthly premium for a family of four is going to go up to over $4,000 a month. They can't do that. And I believe she stated that she has a pre-existing condition. And she said that she sat down with her family and told them, don't sacrifice the health insurance for 3 healthy people because of one. She said that she would try to do it on her own. Can you believe that? You're asking someone to try to find health care insurance with a pre-existing condition, which Trump is trying to remove from insurance policies being covered, so that, and then people will jump from the insurance rolls of the Affordable Care Act, including healthy people who cannot afford those premiums, going somewhere else to get insurance. And when enough people leave the marketplace, it's going to collapse because there won't be enough money going in to cover the most vulnerable people. I know a little something about it because I'm a former licensed insurance agent. And I know how it works. Again, I need Chuck Schumer to care a little less, because in this fight, the reason the Republicans and the MAGA people are holding the line is because they don't give a fat happy rat's ass about the people on SNAP benefits. They don't give a fat happy rat's ass about the people trying to receive WIC benefits. They don't give a fat happy rat's ass about the federal workers that they shut down, the government, who have been working with no paycheck. Because again, I'll remind you, the Republicans control the White House, they control the Senate, and they control the House. They control all three branches of government, and they hold sway on this current Supreme Court. So they can scream all day long that this is the Democratic shutdown. Bullshit. Bullshit. It is not the Democrats' shutdown. It is the Republican shutdown. They don't give a fat happy rat's ass about anyone who is not white, straight, and a multimillionaire or billionaire, who is a bootlicker and a ring kisser of Donald Trump's. And I mean every single word of that. They don't. And so again, while Keith Edwards, Aaron Parnas, and others are calling on people to call Chuck Schumer to tell him to reject this deal, because it isn't a deal for anybody on the Democratic side, they need to hold the line and hold their feet to the fire so that the bill will include the ACA subsidies, not just a vote on the ACA subsidies. And I also have here, during this video, you can write it down. I pulled it up for you. There it is. That's Chuck Schumer's office number in Washington, D.C. Since he is the leader of this, call him and tell him to reject it. And if he doesn't want to reject it, tell him to step aside, that his time is up, and let somebody else step into those shoes who will do the hard work and toe the line. Toe the line. But I will put that in the description of the video as well, so that anybody who watches this video, they will have Chuck Schumer's phone number. He caved the last time. He cannot cave this time. I want the government open just as much as anybody else. I do. Because I want those federal workers to get paid. I do. And I want them to get their back pay. I want the federal workers who were fired to be brought back to work. I want the FAA workers who have been laid off or fired because of the flight shutdown. Starting Monday, it'll be 10% of all flights will be canceled, stranding people, which is one of the consequences of this shutdown. I need them to come back to work and to get paid. I need the TSA people who are working without pay to get paid. I need people across this country in red states whose leadership refuse to release the SNAP benefits. Trump sent out a message today or over the weekend while he was in Mar-a-Lago at another opulent party on the tax benefit on the check or the card of the American citizens. And I'm stumbling on my words just because I'm just so emotional about this. It pisses me off. And this is behind a jobs report where it was the worst jobs report for October since George Bush's days, and the worst job cut year since the first 9 months of the inherited budget that Obama got in 2009. And they're trying to, he's asking all states who released the SNAP benefits to pull it back, to pull them back. The governor of Wisconsin essentially told him, screw you. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Because Wisconsin went ahead and submitted and released the full SNAP benefits, not partial, the full SNAP benefits. And Trump wants them and everybody else to pull the SNAP benefits back. Well, I got my partial on Friday, and I went to the store today and I bought food. So there's nothing on there for them to pull back. But I'm out there looking for things that I can do based on my wheelhouse at my age, because my retirement benefits, I retired early. My retirement benefits are not enough. I couldn't get insurance. And I've said this multiple times, and honestly, I'm tired of talking about it. But when you retire early, I'm not 65, so I'm not part of the Medicare class. But when you retire early, that just gets your retirement benefits started, your money started. It does not give you insurance. You're on your own. I tried to go to the Affordable Care Act to buy a policy. They said that my benefits were not enough, and they automatically can see you have to qualify based on your income. And they automatically sent me to the North Carolina Medicaid rolls, where I was automatically enrolled in Medicaid, in the North Carolina Medicaid WellCare policy, due to the expansion. North Carolina expanded Medicaid to include people like me, who would be lost in the cracks without insurance. And can you imagine? This is my journey. No insurance whatsoever, being a type 2 diabetic with no medicine. No medicine. I could essentially, when I found out that I was type 2 back in April, my blood sugar was 318 and my A1C was 13.6. I was well, and I had already had a heart attack 3 years ago, which in part, I'm pretty sure, was due to my diabetes that I was unaware of. And I was working out and doing things, trying to get into a healthy way, but part of it, we also found out, is that part of my problem is genetics. Can you imagine me going through this, what some people are actually going through now, but going through this journey, my journey, without insurance? They put me on insulin. They put me on Ozempic. Ozempic is $500 without insurance. There are some versions of Ozempic, but I'm not on Ozempic for weight loss. I'm on Ozempic for insulin resistance. And I'm on Ozempic due to my cardiac doctor, because Ozempic has been shown to have some healing properties for people who have heart issues like me. I have a stent in my back artery due to the blockage that was found when I had that light heart attack. When I tell you that Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and John Thune don't give a fat happy rat's out about you, let's say you're working full time and you have a job. Most companies, they were in their enrollment period for the new policies that will be effective January 1st. Oh, I can tell you, my housemate and my best friend, I went through his with him. They're getting new policies. Their premiums are going up. Their copays are going up. To essentially $1,000 is being added to his insurance plan. And then he has the high deductible plan too. It's insane. And I'll remind you, of all of the first world countries on this planet who have universal health care, none of their economies bankrupted, nor did their governments collapse. And as a former insurance agent, I can tell you, because of the way our insurance works in this country, It needs to be regulated. I've never said that before, but I'm going to put that out there. It needs to be regulated. And some of these entities, particularly Dr. Oz, who is over the centers of Medicaid and Medicare, no, he does not need, Dr. Oz does not need to be over that. If you don't believe me, just look him up. Look him up and you'll see how many times he's been sued as a snake oil salesman. But that's part and parcel for the Trump administration. And so the governor of Wisconsin is saying, screw you. They're not giving the SNAP benefits back. They're not. North Carolina issued partial benefits. They're not giving them back. Missouri is releasing theirs, supposed to release theirs this coming week, by the end of the week. But Missouri is controlled by a Republican governor and a Republican legislature. So I'm not quite sure about that. I haven't seen any reporting about whether Missouri is going to backtrack on that. But if any of these governments start taking back SNAP benefits and not releasing them, there should be torches lit and people marching to their capitals demanding action. It's ridiculous what this government is doing. And they're trying to make themselves, and I'm talking about the Republicans, seem like they're the heroes for the upcoming midterm elections. Do not drink that tea. Do not drink that tea. This is clearly the fault of the Republicans. And it started with the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. That's all the reporting I have for right now, such that it is. I will put Chuck Schumer's Washington, D.C. office phone number in the description of this video, and I will link the Axios report, since both the right and the left were reporting that information about the deal in there. At this time, it is 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No vote has taken place, but a vote may happen tomorrow. We'll see. But make as many phone calls as you can to Chuck Schumer's office, telling him, no deal, no deal, no deal. Elections have consequences on all sides of the aisle. Elections have consequences, but resistance is not futile. We'll step up. We'll step up and take care of our own if we have to. We're already doing it. Resistance is not futile. And when someone introduces themselves to you, believe them the first time. See you on the next one.